you guys can build some serious strong legs just at home with minimal equipment. Hey guys, Mark McKinley with Live Anabolic, and today I want to talk to you about how to build some legs at home, especially for us older guys. Now, when we're at home working out, you obviously don't have a ton of equipment. My God, you go to the gym, you would be blown away by how many different machines there are just for legs. I mean, it's amazing. And each one of those machines, if y'all didn't know, is about $3,000. Okay, so you go to the gym, it's amazing how much money they got invested. Okay, and there's got to be a dozen machines, all right, that are designed specifically for legs. So what are we doing at home? We're going to be using body weight and potentially dumbbells for you guys that are not carrying a lot of extra body fat. You're going to need some extra weight to make the exercises more difficult for you. But legs are important, guys. I mean, you know, there's an old saying that, you know, friends don't let friends skip leg days. Well, if you go back, you know, decades, you'll see all these guys with these huge upper bodies, big chest, big arms. They got these little skinny burger legs. Just looks weird as hell. Does not look good. The other thing is, most people don't realize it's even more important for us older guys to really build some big, strong legs. And there's a couple of reasons there. First of all, it's the biggest muscles in our body. And when we hit our legs hard, it actually sends signals to your brain to ramp up production of testosterone. Okay, anytime we're doing large muscle groups, especially compound exercises, and pushing ourselves hard, your body responds by ramping up testosterone because it knows that it's broken down those muscle fibers and it needs that higher T level to help repair the muscles. Another saying that you guys probably have not heard is, if you want a big chest, do squats. And when I was young, I heard that, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And that was before the internet. So I've learned since that doing squats raises your T level, and the higher your testosterone is, the bigger your chest will get when you're actually working your chest. So that's the correlation between legs and other muscles in our body. And then finally, guys, you know, we're getting older, and you know, it's going up and down the stairs is harder. And basically your balance and your ability to just avoid injuries is so dependent on your lower body, okay? And some of that is your flexibility, okay? So when we're doing leg exercises, we're also working on our flexibility, all right? Even if it's unintentional, you're still working on your balance and your flexibility when you're doing leg exercises. So I'm going to show you two real straightforward leg exercises, but both of them are great compound exercises, which means there's going to be multiple joints being worked at the same time and multiple muscle groups are being called upon at the same time, all right? But before I show you those two, I just want to remind you, Facebook. I don't care if you don't like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't either. Create an account, click the link below this video, join our group. I'm there every day, I'm the moderator. Plus there's close to 20,000 other guys, same age as you and me, all over the world, same questions, same problems, same motivations. And it's fun. Bunch of cool, really nice guys in there. And you don't have to use your own name, you don't have to post any pictures, just join the group, okay? Because everybody that does basically sends me messages saying, thank you, I love this group. Even though I don't post, meaning them, they don't post. They said, I just love, you know, logging on and seeing what's going on. So trust me, guys, you won't regret it. All right, so the first leg exercise is kind of the king of all leg exercises, and it's the squat. I'm going to show you two ways to do it. The first way is just body weight only, okay? Because some of you guys are just beginning, and because of that, you haven't developed a lot of strength or size in your lower body. And if you're just beginning, you might also be really overweight. So that extra body fat is making the squats difficult for you already, okay? All right, then I'm going to show you how to do it with some dumbbells for guys that have already built up some strength and lost some body fat. You're going to actually need more weight, all right, to make the squats more difficult. Otherwise, you'll be able to, squat your own body weight, 300 consecutive reps, all right? So this is the key, guys. Man, nice wide base. My toes are pointing out slightly, which is just kind of the natural position, okay? Very few guys are pigeon-toed like this, all right? And if you have your toes pointed in, man, see what happens to my knees? So slightly out, and I like to have my feet about shoulder width, okay? So my feet are slightly wider than my hips. And then pick a point on the wall in front of you and stare at it. That'll help with your balance, okay? So the first thing when you're doing a squat, you don't want to bend over and then start going down. This is what I do. I think of stick my butt out. Okay, can you see that on the camera? So the very first thing you do at the beginning of the movement is butt goes out. So you almost feel like you're arching your back. So butt goes out, I'm staring straight ahead, and then everything else just kind of takes care of itself. That's what makes doing a squat with good form easy, is butt out and then you go down while you're looking forward. So if you're looking down when you're doing these squats, you can tend to kind of bend over at the waist before you start going down and then come up, all right? And you're just adding extra stress to your lower back. It's not a lot. Now, if I was carrying a 200-pound bar on my back and I did that, that could cause some problems, all right? But butt out, and then I like to have my hands together and I go down like this, and see how my knees hit my inner thighs? For me, I consider that full range of motion, all right? So butt out, straight down. Oh, there my elbows are, and I can come back up. So I get to here, and I know I've done a pretty good full range of motion, all right? Now, for you guys that are really flexible, if you can go deeper than that, that is fantastic. The deeper you go, basically the better it is, all right? The larger the range of motion, the more you're going to get out of each rep. So if I'm going down and I can get down here where my elbows are inside of my thighs and back up, that's even better. All right, now some guys, your knees or your hips, just aren't going to let you do that, all right? You might have injuries, you might be older, you're not as flexible. Okay, just listen to your body. Go as deep as you can and stop right before it starts hurting. Simple as that. All right, don't just skip this exercise altogether. If you can only get to here and then back up, more power to you. Now, because you're not going very deep, it makes it easier. We don't want that, all right? You might be able to do 50, 60, 70 reps like this because you're not going very deep, because your knees are hurt when you go deep, or because your hips hurt, all right? So for you guys, you need to make it harder without going deep. So here we go. This is harder without going deep because I'm doing more time under tension. All right, I'm slowing the movement down, and so it's making it more difficult. And you can even go down here and then hold it 1, 2, 3, slow up. 1, 2, 3, slow up. So that's a real easy way to do a bodyweight squat with limited range of motion, because you might be one of the guys with bad knees or bad hips, but I still want you to try to do squats. It's a great exercise. And then the other thing is, guys, I hear this on a regular basis from guys doing my Fit After 50 program. They will tell me that when they first started, they had lots of aches and pains, They weren't very flexible. They simply couldn't do some things, but they stuck with the program and they did what they could. And then after a few months, people are sending me emails going, wow, my knees feel better now than they were before I started the program. Well, guess what? You've strengthened the muscles around your knees that were bothering you all these years. You've strengthened the ligaments and the tendons, because even though you weren't going deep with your squats, you were still doing leg exercises, okay, that you've never done before. Partially because you thought you couldn't do them because your knees were bad, all right? You know, you do these for a while, then guess what? Things get better. And then before you know it, you can go deeper, all right? Because your body is responding in a positive way. So that's, sometimes when I'm saying at the end of these videos, stick with it, never give up on yourself, it can mean a lot of different things to different guys. And for some of you guys watching, I want you to realize that just because you're sore and stiff and can't do full range of motions on some particular exercises doesn't mean you should give up on them and just skip the exercise altogether. I like to try to give you guys alternatives to the same exercise, okay? So that you can at least partially do it, and then hopefully after months of doing it that way, you'll be able to do a wider and wider range of motion. You get stronger, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons get stronger, the muscles around them get stronger, and before you know it, a lot of you guys are super surprised at how you've gone from a 65-year-old who can barely bend over to feeling like you did back when you were 40, okay? So you got to push yourself out of the comfort zone. You don't have to do these exercises to the point where you're experiencing excruciating pain, but you need to push yourself to the point where you're starting to feel a little pain. And you do that long enough, and then guess what? All of a sudden, you'll start to kind of accidentally realize, man, I don't have that little pain anymore. It's kind of gone. Okay, so we're still on squats, but now I'm adding a dumbbell just to make them more difficult. Like I said, we have such a wide variety of guys watching these videos in radically different levels and positions of their life and of their fitness levels. Some guys need some weights. And so I'm going to show you how to use some dumbbells to basically do a squat and just make it more difficult, because if I was just doing my own body weight, I've actually done this before. I've done 100 squats, just body weight only. And I was doing it as part of a HIIT workout back during COVID when all the gyms were shut down, but that's a different story. All right, so guys, you can use dumbbells, and some of you guys are going to be able to do 50, 60-pound dumbbells. Some guys are only going to be able to do a 20-pound dumbbell. It doesn't matter, but a couple different ways to do them. You can use two hands and just hold it right here in front of you guys. Same starting position as a squat. Same thing. Butt goes out, straight down. I can feel my elbows touching the inside of my thighs, and that tells me I've done full range of motion. All right, real straightforward. And you guys can experiment with which way you like best. So this is one way of using a dumbbell. You hold it up here like this by the flange up against your chest and your stomach. And this is called a goblet squat. But the form is the same. First thing I do is stick my ass out, go down until my elbows touch, up, ass out. And if you're paying attention to my eyes here, you notice I'm just staring at a spot on the wall in front of me. And by staring at something that's stationary and not moving, it really helps with your balance, guys. So if you're kind of wandering around, if you're kind of looking at the TV or something like that, it's going to be a little harder with your balance. And you've heard me probably talk about mind-muscle connection before, so that's one of the things I want you guys to feel when you're doing this. If you're staring at something, that means you have good balance, and then you can feel the connection with the muscles in your lower body when you're going through the range of motion. Okay, so you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about squats. All right, so I'm gonna stop. We're moving on to the second exercise that is fantastic all around lower body exercise, and that is the old lunge. When you're doing lunges, guys, you're going to be basically hitting all the same muscles in your lower body. And when I say all the muscles, I'm talking about your quads, everything on the front part of your thigh, you'll be hitting your hamstrings and your butt, your glutes, okay? So that's what squats hit, and that is exactly the same thing that lunges hit, but you're gonna feel the lunges more in your hamstrings and your butt. Yes, it does get your quads, absolutely, but you're gonna feel it in slightly different places, okay? So guys, let me show you how to do body weight lunges first. Then of course we'll move over to the dumbbells to make it even more difficult. So the main thing is when you're doing these lunges, and these are gonna be kind of in place lunges, you know, I'm not gonna be walking around the house, is when I step forward, I step off to the side a little bit. And then I go down and up and push back. So off to the side. So I was working out at the gym just 2 days ago, matter of fact, and there's a guy in there about my age, maybe a little older, and he recognizes me from YouTube, and he was asking me about legs, you know, how many sets should he do and all this kind of stuff. And he didn't have good range of motion, but I was showing him basically how to do lunges, and he had always done them this way. Watch this. You step straight in front of you like you're walking, and you go down, and you come up, and you go back, and you step straight in front of you, and you go down, and you come back. And see, he's kind of balancing, he's off balance. And when you're off balance, of course, it makes the exercise harder. It basically makes you weaker. You're forced to deal with balance and not so much with the muscles, okay? So when you step off to the side a little bit, I create a wider base from side to side. So that helps with my side to side stability. You know, you don't have a problem with front to back stability because you got a real wide base this way. So when you step off to the side a little bit, my feet are offset by about, I don't know, 24 inches or so from side to side. That way, when I go down and back up, I can focus on the muscles. I can really feel it in my hamstrings and my glutes. And then you end up having to kind of push back, all right? Off to the side, down, up. So when you're walking, what are you doing? You don't realize it. Jogging, you know, you're swinging your arms, okay? You do the same thing with lunges. So when you walk and take a step with your right foot, your left arm is here, your right arm's back here. Then when you take a step like this, see, left leg, right arm's out front. So do the same thing with the lunges, guys. It's how your body naturally balances itself. So when I take a step with my right leg forward, my left arm's here, my right arm's back here. This just naturally helps you balance yourself. All right, that's exactly what your body would do if you were just walking. Okay. If I was jogging or running, this is exactly what my arms would be doing relative to my legs. Okay. So pay attention. I can really feel my hamstring and my glutes engaging. But when I go down here, the bottom part of this movement, I can also really feel a lot of tension on my quad. And then you got to push up with your leg, that's quad, and then back. All right, so guess what? A lot of you guys are going to get to the point where this becomes too easy. You could do 200, lunges without stopping just with your own body weight. Time to add the dumbbells in there, guys. Whew, same thing. So when I go forward, remember I got to step off to the side. See, right foot forward, left arm's here. Normally it was up here, okay? So I'm down here with the dumbbells and then back. Stepping off to the side every time. Now, you guys can experiment with different amounts of weight, But it doesn't take real heavy dumbbells to make this exercise a lot harder. And then for some of you guys that are really lucky or more creative, you can wear a weighted vest, a backpack, put some weight in there. I have a big sandbag. It's actually designed for this, for workouts. I use it extensively in my Warrior Strong workout program. And it's got 6 smaller bags inside a bigger bag. And each one of the smaller bags is 10 pounds, so I can adjust it from 10 pounds all the way up to 60 pounds. And it's got some great handles on it. And I just put it up here on my back, and it feels great because it spreads all that weight out. It's not like putting a bar on your back with all the weight concentrated on the bar. And I'll just kind of hold that sandbag on my shoulders, you know, and do my lunges. And for you guys that have a backyard or go out in the front or walk down the sidewalk, you don't have to do these stationary. You can just walk all the way up down the block doing them, which kind of makes it a lot more fun and more interesting. So we got the squats, you got the lunges. If you push yourself hard with both of those different exercises, especially if you start using dumbbells and sandbags and backpacks and weighted vests, you guys can build some serious strong legs just at home with minimal equipment. All right, so all I did was show you 2 great exercises, but I didn't really put a workout together per se, okay? So let me give you a couple of ideas on how to build a leg workout just with these 2 exercises, all right? There's so many guys watching, so many different fitness levels. It's hard for me to do a one-size-fits-all. So, a couple of ways. You can do it time-based, all right? You can use the timer, you know, on your, you know, this is the freebie timer that comes on my smartphone. And try to do 60 straight seconds of squats, all right? Give yourself a break. You'll be gasping. You'll feel the lactic acid building up, okay? Wait a couple minutes. Then try doing 60 seconds of alternating lunges, okay? That's one great way to do a workout. And then if you're going to do that, I like to switch back and forth. Do 1 set of squats, 1 set of lunges, then go back to do squats, then lunges. Do at least 3 sets of each exercise. So that would be 6 sets total, okay, of legs, each set being 60 seconds. Now, that's great for beginners, okay? I promise you guys will feel it in the days afterwards, okay? For you guys a little more advanced, you're going to need to do more than 3 sets of each exercise. You're probably going to need to do 5, okay? There's another way of doing this, guys. You can do weighted lunges and weighted squats, and the heavier the weight you use, the fewer reps you're going to need to do. It's inversely proportional, obviously. So for you guys that have heavy enough weights or sandbags or something that can make these really tough, pick a weight where you can only do 12 to 15 reps, okay? That'll get you gassed. You should be breathing hard. You should feel the lactic acid building up. Give yourself about a minute rest and then do another set. But the deal is, guys, when you're putting together a leg workout, I talk to a lot of guys at the gym, and they are not pushing themselves hard enough. They're not doing enough volume. So this one guy I was talking to at the gym, he's about my age, and he was asking about, you know, arms. He wanted to build some bigger biceps. And he says he does 3 sets. And I said, do you do 3 exercises? He goes, no, I do 3 sets. I said, dude, you need to do 3 sets on 3 different exercises. That'd be 9 sets total. And he was flabbergasted. He thought 3 sets was plenty. So one of the things I see is that guys just don't push themselves hard enough. And you don't have to go to failure, but you have to increase the volume, meaning the number of sets and or the number of reps. That's the only way to progress, guys. And remember, if you want big legs, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.